Hello everybody, welcome back to Beskidy, Farming Simulator 13, the app made by seba J. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Apologize if I'm not. We've moved on to our second field, which is also barley, which makes me think that the field down here perhaps is our wheat field. Anyway, we're going to let him harvest. I made another tractor purchase. This one here was really cheap, and now I've got to figure out how to get it started again. Numpad 0. Well, this is just peachy keen. Turn GPS on, ESL limiter. You know, I thought I turned that silly thing off. I actually removed a mod called ESL or ES limiter, and why can't I figure out how to turn this on? Taste numpad 0. Well, left control. Well, that's GPS. Well, it sure would be nice to know how to turn this silly thing on. Maybe I got rid of one too many mods. Be right back. Alright, we'll finally crank the thing up. Let's see if we can get our baler on. This was part of a small pack of small farm equipment, I think it was called. Made by a group of guys, I think back in the days of FSUK. This whole kit, they had a talented scripter, they had a guy who made models, they kind of had a team going. Was it FMC? Maybe that's what it was called. And I think later it became the SOB group, and yeah, so we still have some of these mods left. The hard part is it's hard to tell how big of a swath I am taking. Yes, there's going to be a little bit dense I need to go pick up. You know, I think in a previous episode I mentioned I also purchased a rake, and this rake claims to be both a tedder and a rake, and there's no need to toggle between the two. Now maybe the rake or windrower aspect of it, maybe it just doesn't work in straw. That part I don't remember. All I know is when I tried to bring it out here, it flopped. It didn't windrow any of this at all. But maybe that's due to limitations of the game, the way it is. Maybe the windrower just never was intended to work on straw. The thing of it is, I have my combine going over here, and you know what? He's probably already waiting. Just as we suspected. Let's go empty him out. I think this is my third trailer load, so I guess I have a reason to be pleased with the harvest. You know what, I'm going to let him do his thing, and I'm going to go back to here and continue. This will at least help me pick up the straw and hopefully get kind of a supplemental source of income, maybe. That's kind of the goal anyhow. You know, I am wondering if it was a smart decision or not to go back and forth. Because I noticed when I did the first round, I switched directions for the direction that I did the baling, and I got in the way of some of the bales. Oh, this little curlicue here on the end. Oh, yeah, see. I wonder if maybe I need to invest in one of those bars or whatever that they can put across the front of the tractor that will push bales out of the way. I don't know if that's what I need or not. Are you picking anything up, sir? There we go. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell just where the... Yeah, that's taking in wider than it's designed to do, maybe, so... That all reminds me of a mod I made, Farm Sim 17. I never released it because it had problems. But the basic idea was to allow the player to adjust the width of the working area. And the main reason I made it was for situations like this. You know, in real life, when you take a baler out here, it's kind of just like it's doing here. It'll end up taking a larger swath into the machine than maybe appears will fit. But that's just kind of the nature of straw and grass. I mean, it's kind of attached to it, and even if it's outside of the pickup area, it'll still oftentimes drag it in because it's all tied together. So I figured the player could increase the width a little bit, end up taking a little bit more width, because invariably, kind of like I'm doing here, I'm cleaning up little bits, you know, that the baler is missing, or that I'm missing. There's another one I missed. That and the other purpose I had, I mean, anything that had a work area, although I think back in the Farm Sim 13 days, this was called a cutting area versus a work area. I think later they changed the terminology. You know, the work area being when the machine is working, what is the active area that it's doing. So in the case of the baler, it'd be this little area right here where it's picking up material. Probably need to check the combine. Yeah, doesn't look ready. All right. So the script that I wrote was a... Oh... Hey, I didn't even... Oh, everybody skips. Dang it. The script that I wrote worked on all work areas, if you will. So, see, I'm pushing that bale out of the way. So even if it was, whether it was a baler or so much as a plow, it you could increase or decrease the work area as needed. You know, because, I don't know, I know I've mentioned before, I tend to enjoy the largest maps, and, you know, you'd always have that situation where you're finishing the field, and you're running the combine down there, and there's just a tiny little bit that is outside of your header, and you're not able to pick it up. And so what the player's forced to do is to take another long strip. So I figured, well, give them a little cheat if they want it, you know, to where they could just grab that little extra couple feet off the end of the header, and that way they only can do a one pass. Ditto with, you know, if you're coming through there with a cultivator or something and you need just a little extra width to get what you need, then all the better. But I never did release it. I still use it from time to time, and wondering if it'd be handy to have it here. The trouble is it took so much effort just to make it for Farm Sim 17. Can't imagine the work I'd need to do to bring it into 13. There's just a lot of spots missed. And maybe with a mod like this, any of us can open any mod we want most of the time and can make our own updates and changes and so forth to it. So I could, I suppose, open the thing up and just widen the area just a fuzz so that it picks up a little bit more. Alright, let me head over to Combine, which is probably... I know what I need to install. The mod I need to put in here is Quick Camera. That's an excellent mod created by Decker MMIV, where you basically can move the camera around anywhere you want, and it's quick movements. It will go 180 degrees like this very quickly. And a lot of these mods, the guys that made them were so good about taking them to the next version. And I did that with, I've done that with more than one of my mods. Although officially I've only done it on one, the rock spawn mod. That's where you can dig up rocks in the field when you're plowing or cultivating. That one I created in 15, Farm Sim 15, and took it to 17. Someone else decided to do it in 19, and now the Giants have it in game at 22, although differently than I had it, which was, with a real 3D object. But so many of these guys in version after version, am I standing on a bale? Get out of the bale. Wonky physics. But some of these guys are just very, very good at it, and I don't know, maybe it doesn't take long for them to change from one version to another. But I know once 19 hit, the scripting engine totally changed. And I just threw my hands up. I said, you know what? It took me so many hours to figure that out the first time. With 15, that's kind of where I started learning Lua a little bit. And it was so costly in terms of time. It's like, I don't know that I can do this again. I mean, you're kind of starting at a different point, but the Giants, they just don't give very much information. They give some, and maybe for those who know how to do computer programming and whatever, maybe it's enough, but for some of us novices, it's we need all the help we can get. It'd be so nice if they would reveal more code, but they don't. So I kind of just threw my hands up. I'm kind of stuck in this tree. This tractor. Like I said, I thought I got rid of the ES limiter. I keep calling it ES, it's at engine speed. But this one here seems to have it anyhow. But it seems to be behaving better than it was earlier. And now I'm wondering if it was fighting with the other mod that I had in the folder. Always problems with mod conflicts. Oh. Yeah, when you hit 3D objects in here, which is what these bales are, it's like hitting a brick wall. Although in real life, the tractor would probably just run over the bale and scrunch it. they can be kind of soft. So the hay or the straw rather must be packed pretty tight here on Beskidy. Probably need to go check my combine, but maybe I'll just get to the end here and turn around. There we go. We have a fair number of bales to haul in. Oh, look at that bale. Kind of ended up. Oh, that's probably the one that I stood on. Oh, for goodness sakes. Oh, it says I'm full. Oofda. Alright. Evidently there wasn't enough space for him to continue harvesting, so I'm glad I went to see. I'll take this in into our very foliage-friendly farmyard. These are awesome trees. I don't think I can trim them quite like, we could starting with Farm Sim 15. But these are still pretty cool. There we go. Like I say, I think that's my third load, so maybe I can sneak across to here. Hopefully without getting anything inside. Head back on out to Harvesting Hill. Love hearing the rooster. That's all they give you when you start. We are making a decent dent in the field. Back to the baler. This is an interesting mod because he keeps the engine on when we step away, and I was required to start it I gotta remember how to start. I almost think it's a keypad enter key is the ignition. For anybody watching this, what kinds of mods, there's, and maybe some people like it all, in terms of the realism. For me, I've never really treated the game as a tractor simulator, if you will. I mean, I know it's farming, and of course, I'm driving a tractor here at the moment, and I enjoy that, but this tractor here has a lot of bells and whistles that I know from me, for my playing style, I don't particularly care about. Actually, there's like a whole list of them, and because I don't understand any of those, I can't tell what they're doing. So, a lot of these mods had started having things like ICE control, I think that's interactive control, installed in them. Maybe that started at Farm Sim 13. I can't remember when that came in. But basically a script to where you could attach it to doors and windows on the tractor or whatever machine, and you could use the mouse and start pointing and clicking at things, and it would be more realistic as if you're driving it. Oh, look at that. I put the bale right in the middle. But for me, I don't know, I just tend to look at it as tractor. I don't even care what brand it is. It has a job to do. That's primarily what I'm interested in, as long as it does it. And then all the other bells and whistles that come along with it. Like I say, I respect the guys that made it. I mean, it can be very complicated and difficult sometimes to get it all working. So don't mistake me on that, but that isn't my preferred playing style, to where I need to open windows and doors and need all these things. You know, some of them, and it is hard to pick up all the windrow. You know, that is one thing I'm probably fastidious on that maybe others don't care. You know, if they leave little bits around the field, you know, maybe that doesn't bug them. For me, I just see potential profits being wasted, so I tend to want to try to, pick things up. Oh, no wonder I accidentally hit 3 instead of 2. Which makes it go quicker. And I've noticed people are different too on their expectations of just one little bit of realism. And you know, to where while it's cool, you know, you look at the animation here. I mean, that's just spectacular what someone did in making the plunger in here for the bales. That's exactly how it is in real life. Anybody that's ever seen a baler, you see the equipment in there working the bale and compacting it together. But the baler would still work fine even if they didn't have that additional animation, but I know that that extra bit of realism means something to a lot of people. But there's, and people have different ideas of what should be treated as real versus others. But one thing I have never seen disagreement on with any player is realism when it comes to how long it takes to grow crops. You know, maybe some will quibble over whether it's 1 or 2 days in game. I could see that. But nobody ever wants to wait a whole year for a new crop of in-game time. Now, is there a way to empty this baler? Old baler. Yeah, I don't think there's any way to empty it. This particular tractor, I got, is it a Zeter? Zeter? I don't even know how to pronounce that. I don't know who manufactures it or where it's manufactured. It was just part of the pack that a couple guys gave me for playing on this map. So, let's see, I think the winter row started way down here. Oh dear, I bet I probably need to go check on the combine. Yeah, so you can still hear the combine, or excuse me, the tractor at full throttle. There's something interesting going on with it. Maybe if I angle it away. That help? There, he throttled down. I think what I did last time is I took it. There, that was enough just to pop out another bale. I think I'll take it in reverse and then reverse of the way in which it was harvested. Just to try to stay out of the edge of the field. There's a combine continuing on. Grandpa's old combine is tearing up the acres, or excuse me, the hectares. It's just missing some things. Yeah, as the script works on what area gets picked up, I may open this mod and widen the working area of this just so it picks it up a little bit. I don't have so many little bits, you know, that I need to go back and... Whoa! I want to be sure I don't get in the drink. That ain't good on the hay. Or straw in this case. And maybe for Poland, they wouldn't be using a baiter like this anyways. I guess I just don't know. Maybe I could have taken the outside edge a little bit differently from this. So all I know, when I come back the other way, I'm going to be fighting with all these bales. This field here, I opted to harvest kind of round and round versus, go just a little bit forward and pick that bit up. There we go. The other field, I tried to do back and forth to see if it would help kind of in the baling. You know, I think it might help in the baling with a different kind of... Aren't you picking that up? Wow. Yeah, like I said, hey, as soon as this episode is over, I think I'm going to go have a little look at the i3D file of this baler, and I'm going to just widen it just a wee bit. And maybe some would say, well, that isn't realistic. You're always going to have little bits in the field. The way I look at it, I know there's a friend of mine who plays it too. I mean, there's only, or feels this way, especially when you're kind of an old geezer like me, there's only so many hours in the day, and those hours are few that a person has for recreation. So do you want to spend them doing things you want to do, or do you want to do stuff you don't want to do? I think we all know the answer to that. So there are some things I'll forego, one of which is enjoying picking up little bits. Alright, now I think we'll switch the other way. And I'm going to be interested to see, too, that pesky stop sign. Yeah, off cam, I managed to get myself treed on this silly stop sign. And when you have an object in the map that is static and immovable, it can look like just the tiniest twig, or a stop sign in this case, and it doesn't budge. You can run into it with your tractor, and the tractor is what will take the consequence. Speaking of take the consequence, that reminds me, I almost think Farm Sim 13 had the damage mod. I may try to bring that in here at some point. Although that always ends up costing me a boatload of money. Because the slide is bumped probably even into these bales here, you know, which would cause little to no damage in real life. Well, you know, when you got the damage mod installed, it somehow feels like you've just encountered a mountain. Go empty our combine, and looks like the combine has one more strip. We are going to be done here, folks. So maybe get us up to half full. We'll see. We're close. More than close. Alright, carry on, farm. You know, it always puts me back in cab in this one here. That's another thing I know we talked about that ad before. Some people, their playing style is in cab. Kind of going back to treating it as a tractor type simulator. I just haven't. I tend to like being out of cab more than in cab, so I can see the scenery and see everything going on, and I gotta come clean up my mess. There's a little patch of grass over here that I think is free. The last time I was out of the game, there's a little giblet of grass right there, excuse me, straw. Let's see if I can sneak beside this. Yeah, it's reaching pretty far. I'm gonna have to just come back here. Whoa! Oh, I'm sorry, didn't see the... This tractor is just not very responsive. Oh, now that's kind of stuck. Yeah, once the bale gets stuck on it... Well, this tractor, as I recall, came at a cost of $0 or $1. It was one of those, so... Beggars can't be choosers, as they say. Just trying to get off at this edge. I'm sure it has lots of cool features. I just take time to figure them all out. And there went the bell. Alright, now that I'm headed the other way, maybe I can finish cleaning this up. Including this last little one up here. Knocking bales all over. What I'm hopeful I can do with the bales is... Yeah, that's going to be a pickle getting around that one. What I'm hopeful I can do is... auto-load these bales. If I gotta do these with a front-end loader, I'm gonna be in trouble. But I think it cost me, ended up incurring some debt to procure a trailer that hopefully will auto-load. So, and I have one of those. Oops, you know what? I think we're done combining. Let me go. Oh, my word. I have a feeling it's looking behind it, and this tractor is just in its way, so... Alright. Well, I will let everybody go for now. Thank you for coming by to watch, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.